Hello and welcome everyone. It is Thursday, December 6th, 2018. Yesterday was New Comic Book Day, best day of the week, which means it's time for another new comic haul video, and we got a ton of good stuff out again this week. Boy, there is some good stuff coming out these days. I had a couple comments from people that they just got back into collecting in the last little bit, and man, you picked a good time. This last couple of years have been such a good time to get back into it. I don't have a comic shop shout out this week. I kind of snuck home at lunch and I'm putting this out on my lunch, so I'm trying to cut out a little bit of the time on this one. I do want to make sure I thank all my subscribers, though. I really appreciate you watching my videos and sending me comments. It's because of you my channel keeps growing, so thank you so much. I love hearing from all of you, and I love being part of this community, so it's awesome. We'll get into the books, and we'll start with my independents. Just be warned, I am going to show a few images throughout this on some of the books, so you know, I'll try to remind you when we get to it, because there's some really good stuff that came out this week. So this one I picked up for my shop, Lovetown number 0. I think that one came out last week if I remember right. I'm not 100% sure of that, but my shop had it. It was only $1.99, so I had to grab it because it's one of those low print indies which I really like. Prodigy number 1 was out from Mark Millar. I didn't like some of the covers. I grabbed that one. My shop had a few of the covers, but I only grabbed the one. Haven't read it yet, but from the reviews I'm reading, it's and I've watched on some of the YouTubers, it sounds like a really good series, so I'm definitely looking forward to that one. Die number 1 was out. I grabbed the Stephanie Hans variant or cover A. I didn't grab cover B, but I'm looking forward to reading that one as well. Grabbed Freeze number 1. I got both covers for that one. Cover A and B, and that one I did read it. It's a good story. It's kind of a time stops, and this character's figuring out what the hell's going on, and he's got powers to kind of wake people up from being frozen, sort of thing. So it's really good. I like that one. I'm looking forward to seeing where that goes. So that's pretty good. Self-Made number 1. I grabbed both covers for that one. This is one I've been looking forward to for a while. I got both covers, like I say. I really like this cover A though. That's a really nice cover. That's gorgeous. I think I know I showed that one in one of my upcoming comics a while back. Grabbed 2 copies of Riptide number 4. That is the last issue in that mini series, and that's been pretty good. And it's a low print run and hard to find. I know some second prints have come out for a lot of the issues, and I've grabbed most of those too. But that's definitely one I'd recommend if you can find it. Grab that one. BPRD, The Devil You Know number 11. I don't normally buy this, and I'm going to show an image in here. And I'm not a huge. I like Hellboy, don't get me wrong, but I don't know all the history of Hellboy. But this I think this is a new character. So anybody that's big into Hellboy, if I'm wrong, let me know. But this guy shows up, and I think his name is Ragnarok, which is kind of weird because it sounds like it's. But anyways, he's the dragon on Earth, no longer chained in heaven, that kind of a thing. So he looks pretty awesome, badass. So he shows up in there because in reading the solicitations, it sounded like a new evil was showing up, and I think that guy's new. So I wanted to get that because I obviously like to get new characters, first appearances. I grabbed Ogre number 2. I got 2 copies of that. Really enjoying that series so far. The first issue was really good. I haven't read this one, so I can't honestly tell you if this one's any good. But it's only a 3-part miniseries, and it's a really low print run, as usual, with Source Point Press. So if you can find that one, I'd recommend you get it. I thought that was coming out last week, but it was actually this week. And my pick of the week for indies, well, I shouldn't say it. Ogre's a pick of the week as well as a Source. Man, this Source is really good. I'm loving this series. I've said it a couple times. It has TV and movie written all over it. If you can find that, pick it up. I didn't look before this video. I think Scout may still have some available on their online store. If you weren't able to find a copy, you may be able to order some from there. But I've got issue 1. I got the limited variant, the ash can, and number 1 and all that, and then obviously number 2. There was a second print that came out today or this week as well, but I didn't. My shop didn't get those in, so I didn't get that. But that's really good. The main character is kind of discovering his magical powers, and he meets Merlin, and Merlin's teaching him almost like Obi-Wan from Star Wars was teaching Luke Skywalker. So it's really good, man. It's a good story. That one I highly recommend you get. It's such a good story. From DC, I grabbed Red Hood Outlaw number 29. I just grabbed the cover B. Another one of those Putri variants, and that's a gorgeous. I love that cover. It's such a good cover. I grabbed Green Lantern #2. I only grabbed the cover B for that one as well, the Matina cover. That's a pretty nice cover. I'm not a big Green Lantern fan, but I picked up #1 and it wasn't bad. I haven't read this one yet, but I'm looking forward to reading it because I want to try and get a little more into Green Lantern. So anyways, grab both covers of Doomsday Clock #8. There's 12 issues in that miniseries. That one I haven't read. That's one I need to really sit down and spend some time to read through it because there's so much information in there, and all the back story stuff at the end of the book is really the back. I think they call it back matter or whatever. But anyways, the little newspaper articles and stuff at the back of the book, they're worth reading through. So that's definitely a good one. Batman #60, man, this was this was really good. It's funny, you know, I was not, as you're all well aware, I kind of got, like a lot of people, got pissed off with the whole wedding thing. And then I dropped it for a bit, but picked it up a few issues ago, and it's getting good. And man, I highly suggest you get Batman on your pull list, and I really suggest you grab this one. I got 2 covers for that. I got cover A, and then I got the Matina cover B for that one. I am going to show an image in here, so if you don't want to know, flip ahead, because there's it's kind of a key. Well, I guess yeah, it's kind of a key issue. So throughout this thing, you got Batman going around beating up all these different people and stuff. And Commissioner Gordon's losing his, you know, he's getting pissed off with Batman, beating everybody up. But right at the end, the last page, Batman comes back to find Alfred knocked out on the floor, basically. And Batman's asked, well, who was it? And he's saying it was your father. So there's a new Batman standing behind him. So whether or not it's going to turn out that who he thought his dad wasn't his dad, and this is really his dad, or if it's just somebody, or if Alfred's just kind of out to lunch and who knows who it is, but it's going to be interesting to find out who that Batman is. So that looks really good going forward. And like I say, #62 coming down the road, I mentioned that one, how it's going to have some information about that Professor Pig's in there, and it's going to be talking about that kid who showed up in issue 38. Man, that's really good. Man, I'm really looking forward to Batman. It's been a while since I've been looking forward to Batman. Martian Manhunter #1, picked that up. I wasn't expecting much from this, but it was actually pretty good. It's kind of an origin story about Martian Manhunter, or at least it gives a little more backstory to him, and it was pretty good, actually. I really enjoyed that, so I'm going to keep going with that. It's a 12-issue miniseries, or maxi series, but I'm going to keep going with that one. This one is definitely a pick of the week. It was one of my picks this week. Is Justice League #13. You got 2 covers. You got your regular cover, and then you got cover B, which I don't think is the greatest cover in the world, but anyways. I am going to show some images in here, so if you haven't read this, turn it off or skip forward, but man, you want to get this book, because basically what happens in here, you got the Joker kind of going bonkers and fighting all the teammates of the Legion of Doom, but Lex Luthor lets the Batman Who Laughs go, because he kind of made a deal with him. But part of what he's got, the totality, he mentions Perpetua again in here, because she is the evil, and this was a cage that kept her locked up. But at the end of the book, what's really cool about this is you get a sneak preview of the Batman Who Laughs, which comes out next week. And unlike Teen Titans, when just before Crush was being introduced, they put a little preview in pretty much every DC book that came out the week prior. And in this one, I went through all my other DC books. This is the only book that has it in it, is Justice League. So this story, so obviously, like say, Batman Who Laughs was let go, and then that's going to lead right into the Batman Who Laughs miniseries, which comes out next week. And in here you get the Grim Knight, the Batman with all the guns, shows up, and he's on it's the first full appearance of him, because he's throughout the book got lines. He's killed I don't know how many people in here, which is awesome. He kind of reminds me of the Punisher in a way. So he kills a whole bunch of people, and then he opens up Joker's cell and lets the Batman Who Laughs in. So it looks, man, that looks good. But so Tech, I know we're gonna. This is where you run into the first appearance, whether it's a preview or a first full appearance. This technically is a preview, so issue 1 will be the first full appearance of this Grim Knight, who looks kick-ass. I love that character, the way he's got all his guns and everything. And But this is one you're definitely going to want to get because it's like a 6 or 7 page sneak preview of it. These are never worth quite as much as a first full appearance in a comic. And again, we run into that whole preview first appearance argument, which is good. I'll argue with anybody about that all day long, just for a fun argument. But that's a really good one to get. So definitely pick up Justice League number 13 if you haven't got it. Man, get it. That's a good one. Definitely a good one. That was a really good story, actually. The art was really good in there, too. That's one thing, you know, this whole Justice League relaunch has been awesome, not just because I really like the story, the writing, all that, but the artwork has been just stunning in it, too. It's really good. Picked up Marvel Knights number 3. We're on to Marvel here, obviously. I haven't read that one yet, so I can't give you a ton on that. I grabbed my Avengers Prelude Part 1. There's 3 parts to this. Next one comes out next month. And I think it's next month anyways. Not a whole lot happens in this. And more than likely what's going to happen is you got 3 issues. The 3rd issue will probably have the that new weapon that shows up for Thanos. You know, it would be the way usually they're going to do it, is the last issue, probably the last page or something. But highly recommend you get it because it is going to be a lower print run. Grab Deadpool number 7 just because, like I say, that's on my pull list now. I haven't read that, but man, I really enjoyed the last few issues, so I'll keep going with that. I grabbed Killmonger number 1. I wasn't going to, but I heard there's a first appearance in here. I haven't read it, so I can't give you 100% on that, but I think there is a first appearance. How major it is, I don't know. Moon Girl number 38. There is a new character called Bad Dream that shows up in here. I'm going to show it. I mean, again, I don't know where this character is going to go, if it goes anywhere, but this, she kind of goes off in a dream world, and this new character called Bad Dream shows up, and then she thinks she's dreaming, and then right at the end, she wakes up, and she's so, oh, I ain't dreaming. So now, is that a new character that's been entered into the Marvel Universe? I don't know. Find out. But that's one I've had on my pull list for a while now, just because it's a super low print run and you don't know where these characters are going. They could, like I say, go nowhere, but if you go back in time, pretty much every key book from the Silver Age, Golden Age, what people consider key books, Bronze Age, what is it? First appearance. So if I can get it for cover price, I'm buying it. Mortal Hulk. Man, these are, I wasn't expecting a lot. These are these new Defenders. These are all one-shots right now, so you got a Mortal Hulk one-shot and a Namor one-shot this week. And then next week you got Doctor Strange and Silver Surfer. But at the back of the Immortal Hulk, I'm going to show images again here. He basically, Banner goes into this town and finds the bones of Doctor Strange. It looks like he's dead, and the Eye of Agamotto's gone. And then he gets into this fight with this guy, and right at the end, you see this ghostly character with the Eye of Agamotto on it. Now, is that Doctor Strange? I don't think so. It looks like the character he was fighting in here throughout this story. So who that is, I don't know, and that's what he says. He's, well, Hulk thereby hangs a tail. So we don't know where that's going. Each one of these one-shots had kind of an interesting thing on the last page. So that's the Hulk one. I'd recommend you grab all these Defender one-shots if you can. I only grabbed 1 copy of each, but I'm going to show you the Namor one too. So the Namor one, the story was okay, but right at the end, he gets into this battle, and he launches out into space and beats the shit out of this guy, and he dies. And then Namor's floating out in space, and he's too far. They can't save him. He's floating, and then all of a sudden, looks like the Silver Surfer's surfboard shows up. And right on the last page, he's flying around on Silver Surfer's surfboard. So does that mean he's now becoming a Herald of Galactus out in space? I mean, who knows what's happening with that? I don't know where that's going, but yeah, it looks interesting. And I can't wait to see what happens, like I say, in the Silver Surfer one that comes out next week, and the Doctor Strange one next week, because it'll obviously, these Silver Surfer one will probably tie into Namor, and then Doctor Strange will tie into the Hulk, obviously. So we'll see where those go. And then talking about Doctor Strange, I picked up number 9 this week because it looks like there's a new foe has come to Bleecker Street. So that's cover A. And then I grabbed the Fantastic Four Villains cover. I didn't realize that was coming out. Man, that's a really nice cover. I would have had that as one of my cover picks, but for whatever reason I missed that one. That's a gorgeous cover. I love the look of that with the kind of the hot claws there. So I am going to show some images in here too, because basically it's all about people trying to buy up and take the land away from this community where he lives and everything, and this creature shows up, and then he gets kind of, Doctor Strange takes care of him, and then right at the end of the book, Doctor Strange is being called Master by who, damn, I forget that guy's name. It was his master way back in the day, the ancient one. So that's kind of weird. Like, I don't know where, like I say, I don't know where that's going, but it'll all tie in probably next week when we get into the Doctor Strange, possibly anyways. Either it'd be in issue 400 or that Doctor Strange one-shot that comes out next week. So we'll see what happens with that. I grabbed Venom number 9. That's the cover A. I got cover B. I really like that one, actually. That's a really nice cover. And then I got the 1 for 10 game variant. I really like that one. That's a really nice cover. An interesting thing in here is you learn that, again, I'm going to show some images. You're going to learn that, it looks like Venom, I mentioned that he learns that he has a brother. Goes to his dad's house trying to kind of reconcile things, and his dad has always got left. But when he's there, he learns this kid in the house calls his dad, Brock's dad, oh shit, where the hell is it? Anyways, he calls him Dad, which surprises the crap. Oh yeah, this kid comes downstairs. There's Eddie Brock's dad. And he says, "Dad, are you?" And he's like, "Holy crap, is that Venom?" He's like, "What? What did you just called him Dad?" So yeah, it's really weird. And the last page of the book, the the kid from the house comes to find him, and they're talking about now you have to kill his dad. So I don't know if his dad, I don't know what's going on with that. Apparently I was reading a tweet by Donnie Cates, because that story, I'm kind of like, where is this going? I don't, but he's like, don't worry, man, it'll all make sense. So, you know, if you don't have that one, I suggest you get it, because I don't know where that's going, but it's probably going to be kind of important. And I mentioned before too, I thought issue 10, Donnie Cates does these usually six issue story arcs, and I think I'm not sure if this is the beginning of a new story arc. I think it is, so that means issue 10 or 11 is going to be a really key one. Something important is going to pop up in there, so highly suggest if you haven't been buying Venom, or if you've dropped it, I suggest you pick it up again, because I think something big's coming in one of the next couple issues. This, man, I'm really enjoying Immortal Hulk. Got a few copies of cover A. Alex Ross's artwork is just stunning. It's really good. Got a copy of cover B, again with the Fantastic Four villains variant. And I got this Inhuck Lee cover C, I believe that one is. Yep, cover C. That's a really nice one too. But I got to show some images in here, because I mentioned in 11 and 12 the Hulk is in hell, and I just got to show. So he's fighting with Carl Creel, and the green door, of course, the green door opens up. So now we see the green door and what's on the other side of it. And sure as shit, they're in hell. And there's this big, huge splash page, and now they're all in hell, which is, it's looking awesome. And that's what Hulk says right on the last page, "Welcome to hell." So man, that looks really good. I'm really enjoying that series. Issue 12, I think in issue 11 we're going to run into the One Below All, and then issue 12 I believe we're supposed to see the One Below All is supposed to be revealed, his true identity. So boy, if you haven't been buying the Hulk, I suggest you buy it, because it is really good. Oops, I'm knocking all these books here. Yeah, I highly suggest you get it. I just did my video down the road, talking about a bunch of books coming down the road, which I normally do at my end of my videos for my haul, so I'm not going to do that today, but I want to talk about a couple spec books. I mentioned Batman White Knight in the past, all the way through. I bought every issue, and it was usually one of my picks of the week every time it came out, because it's really, really good. And I was just in my comic shop yesterday, and I was flipping through the bin. I was actually looking for another copy of Batman Arkham Knight #1, which he didn't have, but I was flipping through and I saw a Batman White Knight #2 first print in the bin for $5 Canadian, which is like $3 American. And I was like, holy crap. So of course I grabbed it. It's in really nice shape. And if you're not aware, that is the first appearance of Marion Drews, who becomes the Neo Joker in issue 3. So this is her first appearance. It's also a cameo appearance of Baby Doll, who was in the Batman animated series that was on TV years ago. So, I mean, Sean Murphy's he's the writer and the artist. So you've got 2 copies. So you got cover A in the middle, and then you got cover B on the right, the orange cover. Man, that one's actually kind of hard to find. If you find either one of those for a really good price, I highly suggest you buy them. The prices keep creeping up on these. It's a great series, and I absolutely can see this being made into an animated movie or even a TV series at some point, because it is really good. And it would be kind of cool because he's kind of linking Batman the animated series with his stories. You technically get to link all those worlds together, which would be just awesome. And then, like I say, you've got number 3 is a really good one, because that's the first appearance of the Neo Joker. And there's 2 covers for that. I don't have this. This is the cover B. The cover A is I don't have it here. Or actually, no, I do have. Oh yeah, I did have it. I got it here. This is cover A for issue 3. So if you can get either one of those 2 or 3, well, the whole run is great, but 2 or 3 are kind of the key ones. So if you find those, buy them. I highly suggest you get that series if you don't have it. It is really good. And Sean Murphy is working right now on volume 2, and Azrael's going to be the kind of the villain in that one by the sounds of it. And there will be some key stuff popping up in there too. So when that series comes out, it's no release date yet, but I'll definitely talk about it when it's getting closer to release. So really good one to get. And then I had I showed this book in one of my videos a while back. When somebody asked me about the Skrulls and, you know, with movies coming down the road and Captain Marvel and all that, the first appearance of the Skrulls is Fantastic Four #2, which is a super good book to get if you can find it. I mean, they are hard to find. They're pricey. It's the last 10-cent issue in the Fantastic Four run. Issue 3 was then a 12-center. Like I say, it's first appearance of the Skrulls. There is a pin-up in there, so if you are going to buy it, make sure it's complete, because if the pin-up's missing, you know, obviously it's not worth as much, but you want to make sure you get a complete book. This one's a low grade, but it's complete, and it's a big part of my collection. I love it. So yeah, that is a good one. Fantastic Four #18 is the first appearance of the Super Skrull. That is another really good one. So yeah, issue number 2 and 18 are some real key ones to get in the early Fantastic Fours, and then there's a bunch of other ones down the road you can get to, but those are some really good ones. So anyways, that's it for today, folks. Some really good books out this week. Look for Batman White Knight. I know I've talked about it in the past, but if you haven't got it, boy, I suggest you get it, because those books are just keep going up and up and up. And the print runs on these, by the way, they were all around 75,000, and that includes both covers. So yeah, it's a good one, and I honestly see that one going somewhere down the road, so try and pick them up if you can. All right, everyone, talk to you later in the week. My top picks. Take care for now. Have a good one.